Hello everybody, welcome to the Astro World. Today in this video I shall explain the ways to find which planets will be positive and which planets will be negative for a particular birth chart. Actually there are some key factors that we need to check in a birth chart, like zodiac sign, ascendant, that is Lagna, degrees of the planets, friend or enemy relationship between the planets, positive and negative state of planets based on house lordship, and then vision of a planet. In this relationship chart, in this display format, we can come to know about the benefic and malefic state of a planet. Let's quickly go through these 12 houses once again. This is the first house, and then we go anti-clockwise. Second house, third house, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, 11th, 12th, and again we go to the first house. Therefore, we'll be referring this North Indian format of houses. And here we are writing some names of the planets, and we are writing some numbers, and these numbers are also indicating the planets. For our understanding, I have written the numbers to represent the zodiac signs. 1, 2, 3, all these are representing zodiac signs based on this list, because the numbers are always fixed. Number 1 means Aries. That happens for all the charts, not specific to any specific birth chart. Whenever you see the number 3, it means Gemini, and the planet is Mercury. Let's start from first house. The sun is with the number 1, and we know that number 1 indicates Aries, and the planet associated with Aries is Mars. The sun in Aries sign gives positive results. In simple words, whenever we see the word sun in a house with the number 1 in it, then we can conclude that sun will be giving positive results here. Again, here the number 1 represents the house owner planet, the house lord, not the house number. This is not indicating that the first house. It is indicating that lord of this house is Aries, that is Mars. Next, let's go to the next one. If we see moon in a house with the number 2, like this, then we can come to know that the moon will give positive results. And here the important point is that even Rahu also gives positive results with the number 2, with the planet Venus. Next, Rahu is positive when it sits with the number 3, that is with Gemini. Number 3 means Gemini. Therefore, we have seen that Rahu gives positive results with both number 3 and number 2. Means whenever Rahu is there and the number written in that house is 3, that means Rahu will be giving positive results. And also please note one very important fact. Rahu always gives positive results in third house. In this house, Rahu always gives positive results in the third house, regardless of the lord of the house. That is, regardless of the number written here. Even if it is some other number, not 3, then also Rahu will be giving positive results. Next, with number 4, that is with the sign of Cancer, Jupiter is always positive. Next comes number 5. Number 5 is Leo. Sun. Sun is considered the king. There is no fixed rule for describing any planet as positive or negative with the number 5. That is with the sign of Leo. Then comes Virgo with the lordship of 6. With the lordship of 6, that is the planet Mercury, the planet to give positive result in this is also Mercury itself. That means Mercury is positive with the number 6, and number 6 also indicates Mercury. Then comes number 7, that is Libra. With the sign of Libra, that is number 7, the planet that always gives positive results is Saturn. So whenever we see Saturn with number 7, it means positivity. Then comes Scorpio, that is Vrishchik. With this sign of Scorpio, that is with the number of 8, the planet to give very good results is Ketu. Ketu and Rahu, these are shadowing planet. However, they are also planet, and in Vedic astrology, we do consider Rahu and Ketu. Next comes the number 9. And we know that Ketu also gives good results with Sagittarius, that is with the number 9. Number 9 is Sagittarius. Then comes Capricorn, represented by the number 10. With this number, the planet delivering good results is Mars. You can see Mars written with number 10. Next is Aquarius, number 11. It is 7 steps from 5. Okay, I would like to add one point here, that every planet is having 7th step vision. Since this house doesn't have any planet's name here, the same is going to occur in the 7th step. And we'll count how? We'll start counting the 1 in the house itself, not 0. Like suppose if we have to count from this house, then we'll start 1 from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. As it is 7 steps from 5, number 5, therefore there is no rule of positivity or negativity here, which is number 11. I am going to talk more about the vision of the planets in a short while. Now comes the last number, Pisces, the mean sign. With this number, the planet that gives positive results is Venus. Now, this is a deviation. And why am I calling it deviation? Okay, we all know that Jupiter and Venus are considered enemies. However, as for deviation, Venus always gives positive results with Pisces. Okay, till this point we talked about planets that will give positive results. Now we have to know about the planets that will be giving negative results with some specific numbers, and we all know that numbers represent some planets. And now please refer to the sheet again. Now we have seen that Sun is positive with number 1. Sun is positive with number 1. Number 1 is Aries. And opposite to Sun means 7 steps from Sun. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sun is positive with number 1, and Saturn is sitting exactly opposite to this 1 and Sun combination. That is opposite to Sun. In other words, we can say that Saturn is at 7th vision from Sun. Says Saturn is a 7th vision from Sun, and here, if Saturn is not here, if Saturn has to come here, then Saturn will be giving negative result. As simple as that. We have seen that with number 1, Sun is positive. Number 1 means Aries, that represents the planet Mars. With number 1, Sun is positive and Saturn is negative. So the first row is completed here. Next comes number 2. We saw that Moon is positive with number 2, that is with Taurus sign. Here with Taurus, moon is positive, we have seen. Opposite to moon is Ketu. We can see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Opposite to moon is Ketu. Therefore, Ketu is negative with number 2. And you can see our second line is also completed now. So, here Rahu is positive, and with 2, with same number 2, Ketu is going to be giving positive results. Now, this process goes on, and with this formula, with this methodology, I have completed this table, this chart. This list has to be understood, and this list has to be remembered. No other option. This list has to be remembered always. And till today's date, I have not seen this list in this pattern. I have seen in other display formats. The meanings are the same, but not in specifically in this format. After reading and seeing the rules in different books, discussions, and at many places, I found this display format quite user friendly. I prepared the list in 4 columns showing the zodiac signs, planets, signs in the first house, planets in the second house, then positive planets in the third house, negative planets in the fourth house. And you can prepare the list in a different display format. Now, let's discuss a very common question. A very common question which you may be thinking at this point of time. Often people ask, what should we say about a blank house? For example, this looks like a blank house. What about that? What about positive planets? What about negative planets? Right? We have talked about most of the planets. However, there are some houses, there may be some houses in a birth chart that we don't see the name of a planet. We do see the number. However, we don't see any name written in the house. In our example, we can see that here there is no name of any planet, and here also we don't see any number. So let me explain the answer of that question, that what about the blank planets. Let me answer it in 2 parts. First part, practically speaking, no house is actually blank. And number 2, in number 1 I am saying that there is no house actually blank. And number 2, that whenever a house does not have any planet name written in it, we only have a number there, then we must see where that planet lord is sitting as planet, not as numbers. Here we see, we need to see where that planet associated with that number is sitting, and with which lord and with which house. Suppose we have a birth chart having number 7 in 6th house, and there is no planet in that house. Then we need to check from number 7. What does number 7 represent? Number 7 represents Venus. So we will be seeing where Venus is sitting with which house lord. In our example, it is not the case. We are just giving an example that along with 7, there is no number written there. Now, before going to the next level of analyzing the state of a planet, let's do a quick review of the 12 houses, because our further discussions will require that again. First house indicates your nature, your body, and second house indicates your money, your savings, your relationship, and your words. Third house represents extra effort, desires. It also indicates your younger siblings. Fourth house indicates property, your mother, your mental peace, etc. Fifth house is important to know about your child, your love affair, your education, your wish fulfillment, etc. 6th, 8th and 12th house are considered negative. 6th house indicates service. It also indicates disease, debt, enemy, accident, etc. Then 7th house. 7th house indicates uh, your life partner, your partnership, etc. 8th house indicates obstruction. 8th house indicates obstruction. 9th house indicates fortune. 10th house talks about your professional growth. 11th house talks about your earnings. It also talks this house. I'm not talking about this number here, but this house, this position, because in North Indian format, this house is always 11th house. This house talks about your earnings. It also talks about your elder siblings. And the 12th house talks about your expenses, your medical expenses also, and it also talks about your foreign settlement, not foreign tour. Foreign tour is indicated by a different house. Foreign settlement is always indicated by the 12th house. If we see number 3 written in the first house here, then the ascendant or the lagnesh of that birth chart is going to be what? It's going to be Mercury. Let's refer to the sheet. It's going to be Mercury. Now we need to know about one more relationship diagram, one more relationship between the planets. Okay, there are two groups of planets. In one group we have Mars, Moon, Jupiter and Sun. And in the other group we have Venus, Saturn, Rahu and Ketu. Planets of this group are always friends. So one planet is always friend with the other 3 planets. And the same thing applies to this group as well. Now Mercury comes in the middle. Mercury is friend for all the planets in this group. Mercury is friend with Venus, Mercury is friend with Saturn, with Rahu, with Ketu. And in this group, and on this side, if we refer to this side, then Mercury is friend with Jupiter and Sun. However, Mercury is not friend with Mars and Moon. Now, we have mentioned about this friendship and enmity of the planets. Now we can talk about the Mahadasha and Antardasha. Often we talk that you are going through this Mahadasha, you are going through this Antardasha, and people often get scared when once hear about the facts like someone is going through Shani Mahadasha or Rahu Antardasha, like that. Okay. So what is that? Okay. So this Vinsutri Dasha system, actually it is a nakshatra-based system. It is dependent on the moon's position at the time of birth. The total period of this dasha is 120 years, almost 120 years. The period is assigned differently to different people based on the birth time. For example, one person is born at the time today and his time starts with Gemini Mahadasha. And another person who is born at the same time on another day, his Mahadasha starts with, say, Guru Mahadasha. Definitely at a certain age they will be going to different Mahadashas and Antardashas. And the period of Antardasha, the Mahadashas of different planets are different. For example, Moon's period is 10 years. Mars Antardasha is 7 years. Rahu Antardasha period is 18 years. Jupiter is 16 years. Saturn is 19 years. Mercury is 17 years. Ketu is 7 years. Venus is 20 years. And then inside every Mahadasha we go through smaller periods. Those are called Antardasha. Then the next topic is vision. Every planet has its seventh vision. Just now we are talking about the seventh vision. Every planet has its seventh vision. We call it Satvi Drishti in Hindi. And there are some other planets. For example, Mars is having three visions: fourth, seventh, and eighth. हर एक ग्रहों की सातवीं दृष्टि होती ही होती है. And in addition to that, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn are having two more additional visions, drishti. And when you talk about seventh vision, satvi drishti, the very easy example. Say we want to know about Jupiter's seventh vision. We'll start from Jupiter itself. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So Jupiter's seventh vision is on this house for this birth chart. That is how we see the vision. And Jupiter, Saturn, Mars, they are having additional vision. Seventh vision is the most important thing. We do consider the seventh vision of a planet whenever we analyze the influence of any planet on a particular house. And there is one more deviation point. I have drawn a rough diagram here. Say, for example, in our first house, this is an example. Say, in our first house, our ascendant is Aries, so the number is 1. Then the number will go like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Then say the planet sitting here is Venus and the planet sitting here is Mars. Number 1 means Mars. Number 7 means Venus. Since they are swapping their place, this is the lord of the house and this is the planet sitting there. Venus and Mercury, they are swiping their place here. That is why in such cases, in both first and seventh house, both of these planets will be giving positive results. Now, there is a very important factor, very important factor, that is 6, 8, 12. 6, 8, 12. 6, 8, 12 are considered as negative houses. And here comes the concept of opposite Rajyog, Viparit Rajyog. What is that? Okay. If owner of a bad house, I am calling it as a bad house, although it is not a bad house, it has some negative influences. For ease of our understanding, I am calling it a bad house. If a owner of a bad house, 6, 8, 12, sits in any of the 6th, 8th or 12th house, then there won't be negative impact of that planet. I am repeating, if the owner of any one bad house of 6, 8 or 12 sits in any of these 6, 8, 12, any of these three houses, then there will not be negative impact of that planet. If we see number 1 in 8th house, for example, we have seen the number 1 here, and Mars, M-A-R, Mars is written in 12th house. We know that these three are negative, but number 1 is here. Okay. For example, we are talking about number 1 or 8, any one number is there, because number 1 indicates Mars, and number 1 is also owned by Mars. However, for example, if Mars is written here, then since the number is also there in any of the negative house, and the planet's name is also written in any of this negative house, then there won't be any negative impact. That is a key point. Okay. There are some other important factors, like which are generic to all the birth charts, and like sunset, we often say Surya ke saath ast gaya, and then we see conjunction, and For those things we'll need a separate video. And there are some other factors. For example, to analyze the speaking ability of a person, we refer to Mercury. Jupiter indicates wisdom. Mars is checked for health reasons, for health matters. So these are some properties of a planet in general. So in this video, I have tried to explain the influence of a planet in a birth chart, and also I have explained the methodologies to identify when a planet gives us positive results and when a planet gives negative results. Thank you very much for your time. If you watch my previous two videos and then you watch this third video, I am very much sure that you'll be able to know about the influences of planets in your birth chart. Thank you very much for your time again. Namaste.